Should I run or should I fight you, Tony?
I'll run instead. Okay, I'll do that then. I'll go. I'm off. I'm leaving. I
But
live to
this is
fight another
so,
day. Yes.
this is so your, well, actually also, so my cup of tea. So this is perfect for us because we're talking about fight or flight or feeling like you're stuck. But I think really what that comes down to is nervous system activation.
Yeah, I, I think fight or flight is always seems to be people think it's only two choices you have. And I think that's part of the problem is even it's like onomatopoeia. You can imagine the sounds of them mean something. So flight to most people means, yeah, like I said, that running, going away. Fight usually means I'm going to get hurt or someone's going to get hurt at the end of it. But that's a different type of fight that we're talking about when it comes to business. It's the part of just a never giving up. And if you get stuck, what does it mean actually stuck? What do you mean you're stuck? Because again, that's the same. When you hear that word stuck, it's you think you can't move.
Yeah.
It's that
Well,
word
it's
that
that's
gets
the
people.
well, and it's the freeze response as well, right? Like, and we can be in that place where we just and what I'm learning a lot about at the moment, just for me, is as well, like often what happens when I feel like that is that I'm trying to think in steps that are too big. So I
Yeah.
can't oversee the whole thing. And so then I'm like, well, then I can't fix it or I can't solve it. Whereas if I just say like, no, but all I need to solve now is this bit. And then forget about all the other bits.
Yeah. I,
I told you earlier, they're working on my roof and it's going to be a month. And when I
mm,
first heard it, I was like, oh, that's a whole month of me having to manage a dog that's in panic all the time because
mm,
people are on our
yeah.
roof. And then suddenly I was like, no, but I have the solution for today is in place, and that I have time to get a solution for the next day and the next day and the next day, rather than think of I need a solution for the whole month. I've trying to just like, okay, so what's happening today? That's what we're doing today.
Mm,
And then right, like, and that sort of unfreezes us again.
yeah. The reason people say they're stuck is because they're really overthinking. And when you get overthinking, they become overwhelmed with all too many thoughts going through their head, too many things like that. Oh, if the roof's going to do, it's going to take a month. What have I got to do today, next week, whatever? It's all you got to think about anytime you get in like this is what's the one thing I can do now that can move me towards whatever it is you're trying to get to. Just one thing. Not even looking a whole day, but just for this moment in time, what's the one thing that I can do? When you break things down to that small, suddenly you don't have all these hundreds of thoughts going through your head. You don't feel overwhelmed because you feel, I can achieve that. It's not a big thing, but I can achieve that. When I've achieved that, I can look at the next one, then the next thing. And it's hard for some people because we keep looking that far, you're right, far ahead, thinking I need to look there. That's where I've got to get to. Fine. But if you can't take that first step, you're never going to get there in the first place. And if you're feeling stuck, it means you cannot get to that first step. So you need to be able to step back a little bit. Look at whatever the situation is as if you're someone looking at you in that situation. So you're taking your emotion out of it. And you're
Mm.
just looking at it practically and saying, okay, why are they stuck? Why is this person not able to move? What is it that's controlling them, that the flight or the freeze or whatever it is they feel? And when you can see that, you can say, all they've got to do is, like you said, maybe today, I don't have to worry about tomorrow. But if I get somewhere today, I don't have to worry about the roof. I don't have to worry about the noise. I don't have to worry about people in there just for today. Then I can work out what I've got to do for tomorrow and the next day. Every bit if you work it, yeah, the whole month. But if you can't do it smaller bits,
Yeah, and I think like, what you're saying about overthinking, like I never overthink stuff.
no,
What
no, not
makes
at all.
sense?
No, yes, not at all. No, I wouldn't believe that at all. Mhm.
I remember a time when you said to me, okay, Max, try not to overthink this. And my
Yeah.
response to that was, what do you mean? But
It's, but it's how
you're
often is
absolutely
that
right.
people? Yeah, it's just we let so many thoughts there, but because people say you need to stop, you can't really stop thinking, right? You don't do that. So what you do is you just accept it, or you acknowledge as a thought, you accept it, but you don't have to respond to it right away.
No.
You just respond to what can you do, and it's amazing when you sit and look at something that way. It's like one I'd recently, I think I used this before, but it was a lady sitting and she said, I've been trying to put this course together. We talked about what she had to do. We talked through all the ideas, and I said, I can't write it for you. It needs to come in your voice. You need to do it. Right. So I gave her a little challenge what to do. Just the first part, the first slide, and what a little bit of what she present on that slide. Forget how many there's going to be. Just do that. So the next day, the next session, I said, all right, how did we get on? I got the slide. I went, great, what's on it? Well, nothing yet, but I've got some ideas. And again, overthink, I had asked to do one thing, and I went, okay, what stopped you? Because I had this, put up a Word doc, I started going to type on it, I didn't know what to type. It was blank. I went, okay, type your name. So she typed her name. I went, right, what goes with your name then? Well, my business. We'll put the business in. She put the business in. And what else? How people contact me? Put that in. There you go. Now you've now got your contact slide. So there's one of your slides done. Oh, yeah. So what else do you want to do? Thank them for coming along. Right. So a thank you slide, did that. There's 2 slides coming along. I'll ask you to do one. And she went, but you just, oh yeah. Because you had a blank thing in front of us, that's when the fight, flight, freeze time comes in. When someone's like blank on that, we think, I can't do this. All these thoughts start to come in and you can't move forward. Something as simple as putting your name on it, suddenly it's not a blank sheet anymore. There's something there you've started. And as soon as you do that, your brain will automatically start linking things. And then you put it down. And what she realised was she couldn't get the first step right on it, but she knew how it was going to end. So why not start from the end and work our way backwards then? What does it need to be? So the last one was the contact, right? The thank you. What's before that? Okay. What was the solution I wanted to get? Right. So she started doing that. How do you get that solution? Well, they need to do this and this, right? So there's another few slides. Okay. But what is it they use to get that? Well, they use, this is what I teach, right? Put that down. And before she realised that we had really in the outline for every single slide and realised the bit that she was stuck at was what was she going to call it? That's what she was stuck with. All these things that you can't do, all these slides you couldn't do, but it was none of that. It was only when we got her right to the beginning, she went, that's what was wrong. I was trying to think of the name and I couldn't think of one. So what comes out your head now? And she looked at all that, and it's funny because I started saying, I'll design a wee course things for this for her, and it's how to get out your head and make fear your friend. And she started laughing. She went, that's exactly how I feel. And I went, that's it. It's getting people getting out their own head because the fear I can't do. But if you just reframe it, I can do, what is it I need to do first? And that's all we did, but we worked it back the way. Because she knew what the outcome was, but she just couldn't figure out. And how long sitting there just trying to work a title out. But when you've got all your content, what happens? The title pops out right in front of you.
Yeah.
And it's the same as ending business. If you get all the bits right, whatever it is you're stuck with will appear. It's like any others in business. People talk all the time, I need to get my niche right, I need to get this, that, and that. That comes and you won't actually find it. You'll find more than likely it will find you rather than you finding that.
Yeah,
so
100%.
Stop getting stuck with trying to think of these things. In fact, take that word out, because if you take stuck out, then you don't feel as though you can't move anymore. If you take fight out, right, that's not a bad one because you're pushing forward as long as you're doing it in the right way. And the freeze part.
And I think one of the things as well that is sort of in the general rhetoric around this kind of stuff, right, is this idea like, oh, we have to push through the discomfort, and I'm not saying that there's not value into being okay with being uncomfortable, but I also think that sometimes pushing through isn't going to help you. It's just going to make you feel more frozen, right? Because you're so I like what you're saying, like figure out the step that you can take. What is the step you can take? And that means you've taken a step. And it doesn't have to be big or you know, not every step we take has to be a grand adventure, and it doesn't have to. I always get very frustrated with other people who tell me that I have to leave my comfort zone all the time. I am so in favor of stretching that, but for me, like when we sort of do that pushing and the oh, but I have to do this and I have to, you know, push through the stuckness or whatever we're experiencing. Like there's also information in that stuckness sometimes, right? Like there's also, because sometimes you don't want to do something because it's not the right thing to do, because it isn't aligned with who you are as a person or what your core values are. And so like just the simple advice of always having to push through is also, I think, something that actually aggravates the problem rather than solves it. So if we can, like you say, if we can bring it back to what is the step I can take, what are smaller steps I can take, how can I break it down into tasks, How can I work out from where I want to be? How can I work it out to where I am now? Like, because with writing, I say this a lot to people as well, like, don't start with the introduction, like write the whole thing and then write the introduction,
Yeah.
because then you know what you've written,
Mm.
right? You know where it's going. And I think that you and I, we both talk about capacity a lot, right? Like, and it's this sort of, we have to be in a place where we take the actions that we have the capacity to take and follow up, right? Like, because we can put a new product out, but if we don't have the capacity to take on new clients, then what's the point? Then it's strategically a silly thing to do.
Yeah. It's like going back to what you said there about people saying you need to come out of your comfort zone. And you hear it a lot with coaches, come out of your comfort zone or you won't grow. Mm. But there's a difference between out your comfort zone and being uncomfortable. There's two
Yeah,
different things to me. And I think that's where people get wrong. They think, oh, that's uncomfortable, so I'm going to go, I need to stay there, or I can't do that. But you can be in your comfort zone and still do things. It's just because the things you're comfortable in doing, because it's not something too big. And I think sometimes people push too much. And it's that old saying, you need to work smarter and not harder. That's a lot of it. Working hard is not, it used to be a badge of honour. People say, I do 16 hour days and I work 7 days a week, my business is going great. Well, actually, it's not then. Because if you haven't worked that many hours and do all that thing, then there's something strategically wrong in what you're doing. Because
yeah,
that's not why nobody sets out a business to do that. So it's getting that thing out people's heads. Is a lot of get stuck is I need to come out of comfort zone and I'm not happy to do that. Then don't do it. If you're up in your comfort zone, do something you feel comfortable doing. That little step, and you can feel comfortable. And another one, you can still do it within your comfort zone. You can still grow within your comfort zone, but you're going to grow to your capacity. You're going to grow to the level that you want to, not someone else telling you where you take your business, where it should be. So many people I have met say, but Tony, I don't want to grow to £1 million business or this. That's not why they set it out. They set a business out to give time freedom, a lot of them, all financial freedom. But what their financial freedom is not the same as someone else. And all these coaches that promise them 10,000 a month or 100,000 a month and all these things, I went, but I'm not interested in that. And a lot of coaches I know say, well, there's something wrong there. They need to change their mindset. Why? Is it not us that's wrong rather than them? They know what they want to have the life they want to do. Your job is to help them to get there, not to tell them the way that you think they should be and where they should be going. That's important. But if you look at that, fight and freeze, suddenly change a lot because you change your perspective. And it's reframing because you do it from the inside. Stop worrying about doing it from the outside. You won't have to worry about flight, or freeze.
I love that a lot, and what I wanted to add a little thing to this, because I also think that one of the ways that we can deal with when we get into that state is connection and
Mm-hmm.
connecting to other people. And I think, we have this little threesome of setting up shop, but we do this for each other a lot when we get stuck, when we can't see the next step. We help each other see the next step, and I
Mm-hmm.
think, finding people with whom you can do that is such an important such an important thing in business. Like, don't
Yeah.
think you have to figure it all out alone. Like, if you can't see it and you can't take the outside view, then ask someone else to take the outside view for you and help you decide what the next step is.